I took a look at the very first Doctor Who serial, An Untimely Child. No, sorry. No. An Unearthly Child.
Actually, it's 17 if you're including War Doctors, Fugitive Doctors, Upcoming Doctors, and whatever the hell David Tennant's return turns out to be. And that's without going into what happened with Brain of Mobius and the Timeless Child.
And I know in the script we've got here, there is an actual direction here called Luke could go into mentioning Timeless Child, Brain of Mobius at this point. I'm not going to do that because quite frankly, it's far too complex. As we all know now, because you've just mentioned whatever David Tennant's return turns out to be, we now know that officially he is the 14th Doctor. We know that he is officially the 14th Doctor.
So he's the 10th and the 14th, Doctor and the Meta-Crisis Doctor.
Yes.
So when he said, "I don't want to go," he really meant it. He really meant it.
He really meant it. Yeah, we won't go into the Timeless Child stuff because that's far too...
It might be a subject for another video.
Yeah, and it's far too controversial as well. And also, I'm sorry, Chibs, I don't buy it. And as for the Brain of Mobius thing, I think that's based on a giant misunderstanding of what we were actually watching. Even though, small aside, Brain of Mobius, brilliant. Superb episode. Anywho. So,
the very first episode, entitled as An Unearthly Child, introduced us to the Doctor's wonderful time-travelling vehicle, the TARDIS. Show off your T-shirt, Luke.
oh god then.
As you can see, we've gone for a theme here today.
Yeah. We've coordinated probably for the first time ever on this programme. I mean, seriously, look at that.
Hey. And I've even gone for a shirt that's like white and blue as well. We've actually got dressed up. Anyway, so the TARDIS. And you might be rather surprised to see that the Doctor isn't quite the heroic figure that you'd imagine him to be yet. I mean, not only has he essentially kidnapped two people and taken them away with him, but at one point he clearly intends to smash an injured caveman's head in with a rock. I'm going to be controversial here, Luke.
Go on then.
He's not very nice, this Doctor, at the beginning, is he?
No, he isn't.
No. In fact,
he isn't.
When I was watching this with my wife, we were watching An Unearthly Child and then we were watching the colorisation of the Daleks. She said, well, I won't repeat exactly what she said, but she said, yes, he's a bit of a shit. Yes, he is. Yeah, that's probably not too far from what she said, actually. Yes,
he's a bit of a shit.
Yes, he's rather a nasty person. So, and it's funny as well that story features artificial intelligence that sort of turns evil and what have you. This is like years before Westworld and The Terminator, and this is like, you know, years before. I mean, there's been a recent upsurge in AI with things like sort of ChatGPT and what have you. The whole thing of artificial intelligence and it sort of potentially going wrong, that was as far back as 1960s Doctor Who.
1960s Doctor Who, I would say. So even before that in other science fiction literature as well. But yeah, you know, all of that started with Doctor Who. Quite a few things started with Doctor Who.
Oh yes, yes.
Technically speaking, E.T. started with Doctor Who.
Yes, that is true.
And we've just seen that.
Yeah.
All hail the Meep.
Meep. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of E.T. vibes to that.
Which, just so everybody knows, Doctor Who and the Star Beast was originally published in Doctor Who magazine in 1979. E.T. came out in 1981, 1982. It all predates E.T.
Yeah.
All hail the Meep.
Yeah. However, that's not quite the end of us talking about this story, because unfortunately even today this story is having a challenging time of it. Now, back in 1963, when this story was written, it merged together writing from Anthony Coburn along with C.E. Webber's script for the original planned opening story, which this replaced. Now, Anthony Coburn, despite writing these first 4 episodes of Doctor Who, would not have any of his other stories turned into episodes of the programme. His originally planned follow-up story wasn't filmed, and instead the BBC decided to go in favour of Terry Nation. I'm sure you probably know what that would lead to. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, Coburn's second story, which was called, I think it was called The Robots originally, but I can remember it being published in the late 80s, early 1990s as a script book under its sort of more recognisable name, The Masters of Luxor. So, and it has been produced by Big Finish as an audio play. Nevertheless, however, Coburn held the trademark or certain aspects of the rights and what have you to those first 4 episodes until his death in 1977, and at which point it was eventually transferred to his son, Steph. And this is where things start getting a little messy.
Without going into too much detail, Coburn Jr.'s Twitter feed does make for some rather disturbing reading, where he goes on from wishing that he could eradicate both the BBC and Doctor Who from existence to flat out saying that the BBC killed his father. I mean, Coburn Jr. rejected the BBC's offer to re-license the episode in what he described as vengeance against the BBC. Yes, he actually used the word vengeance, which just makes him sound like the master.
Yeah, but not in a good way.
Mock me while you may, Doctor. My revenge will be all the sweeter. And it will be a deadly vengeance. It will be the deadly vengeance of deadly revenge!
And in a particular mad tweet, and I think we'll sort of make this the last point in this, he stated that if anything should happen to him, he would simply give up the Doctor Who related IPs that he owns to the Russians.
Oh, really?
And I can only imagine Putin sitting there, shrugging his shoulders and wondering what the hell he's meant to do with a 60-year-old script for a UK television series.
It's all particularly messy. It's a lot more messy than it actually should be. It's the offshoot of it is that currently at the moment, in ahead of the 60th anniversary, a lot of stuff was put onto the iPlayer under the banner of the Whoniverse.
Apart from this.
Apart from that.
Which explains why this is currently one of Amazon's top sellers at the time of writing. Not only that, but the box set that it comes in.
Because you can't actually get it singular.
So,
that's all.
Yes, hence the reason why I got it.
We've mentioned sort of the writing, the acting, set design, etc., etc. There's one other thing, or one other person, that made Doctor Who. And that lady's name is Delia Derbyshire. And she was in charge of the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. And yes, we all know that Ron Grainer composed Doctor Who, the theme for Doctor Who. But it's Delia Derbyshire that went, oh, that's nice, give me a minute. And then she produced the music. She produced the theme music. And when that kicked off, and then you see the kind of like the shooting bit of light coming out and then sort of morph. And then all you hear is dang, 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 dang. And it's, you know, it's went through various different versions, let's put it like, and everybody's got their favourite version of the Doctor Who theme. You know, from sort of the Tom Baker 70s one, or the more electronic one from Peter Davison's, to sort of what Murray Gold's been doing and singing for and what have you. Personally, for me, I actually think Matt Berry's version of the Doctor Who theme music is wonderful because it's completely and utterly straight. Orbital's version, if you want to, you know, break out the glow sticks and have a bit of a rave, that's quite nice as well. David Arnold, who does the music for James Bond, Big Finish, he produced the 8th Doctor's version.
Wow.
But it all goes back to what Delia Derbyshire did. And as soon as Ron Grainer asks, oh, what did you do with your theme music for Doctor Who? Oh, have a listen to this. Ron Grainer's initial reaction was, did I write that? To which he said, yeah, I just did a bit.
I tinkered with it.
I just tinkered a little bit. But it's great. And, you know, music has always been a massive part of Doctor Who. And again, in sort of An Unearthly Child, it's also the music that actually conveys sort of the mood and sort of the threat and everything. And it's just wonderful. This is my favourite programme ever. I'm sorry, it is.
See, I knew this would happen.
I know. It's... We thought it would be quite fun to go all the way back to the very beginning, where it all started. I mean, the show itself even... Sorry. Hang on.
So did I put you off then by...
Yeah, you did a wee bit.
Sorry.
It's quite right, mate. Don't worry about it. Yeah, there's an idea for a little review one time.
Oh yeah.
The Avengers.
The Avengers, why not?
I am so not getting dressed up as Emma Payne. I'm just telling you now, I'm not doing it.
What a shame.
Not really.
And you might be quite surprised to see that the Doctor isn't quite the historic. Sorry. Of particular note is when one caveman, Cal. Of particular
Cal.